Am I the a-hole for refusing to pick up my 4-year-old from my ex? I know how the title sounds, but hear me out. I have a 4-year-old with my ex. He and his girlfriend were expecting a baby any day now. It was around 12 a.m. on Saturday when he called me and asked me to pick up my son because his girlfriend was in labor. I had no problem watching my son, but I had been drinking, so I told him I wouldn't be able to pick him up and he needed to be dropped off. They live a 5-minute drive away from me. He argued with me and told me I needed to come and pick him up now, since she was in labor. I explained that I had been drinking and would not be driving to come get him because I did not feel safe driving myself, let alone with my 4-year-old in the car. I was perfectly capable of watching him, but he would need to be dropped off to me since I had had a few drinks. He called me irresponsible and told me I shouldn't have been drinking so close to her due date. He never once told me her due date or that I should be available during his parenting time to pick him up in case she goes into labor. I told him that while my 4-year-old is my responsibility on my parenting time, his girlfriend and new baby were not my responsibility. I also said it would be irresponsible of me to drive after I'd had a few drinks. I reiterated that I was willing to take him, but he needed to drop him off because I would not be driving since I'd had a few drinks. He started yelling at me over the phone to get your over here now. So I just hung up and sent him a text that I was home if he decided to drop him off. He ended up dropping him off and screaming at me in front of our 4-year-old. So I took my son inside and locked the door. This whole argument took 30 minutes, while he could have just drove the 5 minutes and dropped him off and been on his way. I honestly feel sorry for the girlfriend for having to wait even longer to go to the hospital, but I was not about to put my son or anyone else in danger because he wanted me to drive while I'd been drinking. The next morning, he texted me saying I ruined what should have been a special night for them and that I made everything harder. I told him again that I was sober enough to parent, not to drive, and that his poor planning wasn't my fault. He's still angry, but I don't regret my choice. I also made it clear that if something were to happen because I got behind the wheel after drinking, I would never be able to forgive them or myself. I wasn't willing to risk my son's safety, my safety, or anyone else's on the road. It was a simple matter of common sense and responsibility, even if he refused to see it that way. So am I the a-hole for refusing to pick up my son?
Here are the top comments.
Documented for future custody reviews. Wanting you to drive your son while intoxicated is terrible parenting on his part. Not the a-hole.
Not the a-hole. You did the responsible thing, and while he might have been annoyed, he should be thankful that you were being an adult and not risking the life of your son over something like a 5-minute drive. Well played. And truthfully, you're right. It's not your responsibility to watch out for them. Cold as it sounds,